All right, welcome back. Let's get right to Division 4. It's Neshoba and Tantascwa. We had Grafton beginning of the year being there, and Grafton was right there. Tantascwa, though, beats Grafton twice, and the second one gets them into this position.
In Grafton.
In Grafton. So they beat them what?
Both of them in Grafton.
Yeah, well, so 2 wins for Tantascwa over Grafton. Big-time stuff for Tantascwa. Are you a believer now?
I have to be a believer. I feel bad because every time I always say, again, we go back to the whole, you didn't pick us, you hate us. Yep. I just, every time I put pen to paper, I'm like, okay, who am I picking in this game? I like the team that Tantascwa's facing. I'm like, okay, well, Grafton's not going to lose twice at home, are they?
Right.
They're not going to, Tantascwa's they're playing really well, but they're going to make the changes. And they're going to stop them in the playoffs when it counts, right? Not the case. Tantascwa just rolled on them in the second half. And they, Greg Jackson Sonnet went out, but I don't think it made a difference. I think Tantascwa wins that game regardless. They just played really well. They have Sean Farland's a great quarterback. They have good weapons. I think they beat Neshoba.
Do you think?
Now Neshoba will win by 13 points.
That's right.
Do they beat Neshoba?
And they'll say they hate you.
Yes.
I do. I think they do. Even though I'm saying, because I'm not like Willie, it took me a long time. I'm a slow learner. It took me a long time to come over to the party, but John Hargis has done a great job with that team. And and some of it is history. Like, okay, if you haven't seen it for a couple years, then you think, well, okay, Grafton's going to beat them because you haven't seen that consistency from Tantascwa for a few years. But the consistency has been there all year long for Tantascwa. That's a credit to Coach Hargis because what he's instilled, and that starts last year, when the season was over last year, and he talked about the commitment they had. And remember, they lost, he told us this, Andy, remember they lost time in their weight room? Yeah. They couldn't even lift. Guys couldn't lift on campus until the summertime. Yeah. And so they were going out to different gyms. They were finding their own ways to lift and get stronger. But in the summertime, they had a great team chemistry, team bonding, and the whole team lifting and pushing each other. And that's a huge reason why they are in the Central Mass Super Bowl right now, is because what they did in the offseason and then what they've done all season long. But it's consistency. And Farland's a great defensive player, too. Yeah. As good a quarterback as he is, he's a phenomenal defensive player. And again, if you have a quarterback who's sticking people on defense, that fires up the whole team.
Yeah, that never happened at Acton Box.
Never.
No. So you guys
Sanders, Acton Box would just run.
Scarecrow defense.
Just try to push him out of bounds, wait for help.
Plus, Tantascwa plays on crushed coconut, so there's that. Their field, it's like all natural. So
it's a skating rink.
There you
when
go.
It freezes.
Tantascwa looks good. By the way, one guy had him in his Frenzy 5 very early on. All right, Division 3, St. John's and Shrewsbury.
Yep. Well, you didn't even talk about Neshoba yet.
Well, let's talk about Neshoba quickly, but we have to get to Division 3.
I mean, Neshoba's a good, I'm not going to dismiss Neshoba just because Coach Tucker's done a phenomenal job. And you look at, again, consistency. When we talk about consistency, and that's why, I've had Neshoba ranked high because they're so good. You beat Marlboro twice. This is a Marlboro team that beat St. John's 2 weeks ago, that most of us, I think, now have as the #1 team in Central Mass. 2 weeks ago, Marlboro beats them. Neshoba beat St. John's last week for the second time this year. That Neshoba team is very well coached. Childs, Belinsky, they're winners. They're winners. And they've been there before. Some of that, too, you can't teach being a winner. You can't coach being a winner. You can do things to kind of bring kids up and maybe bring a little more out of them. But those two kids are winners, and that's tough to beat and tough to compete against.
And we talk about these teams that just book Gillette every year, and Neshoba's one of those teams. No matter what they graduate, they have a machine over there. So you can't count them out.
And I actually have Neshoba in this game.
Of course you do.
Yeah, even though I was high on the Tantascwa train, I still am. But Belinsky and that crew, tough to go against.
Oh, it's hard.
Just
in
this game every
I think I picked them every game, and I just
in it every year.
Well, it's poise at the quarterback position. Belinsky's not going to get rattled, no matter what they throw at him. He won't get rattled. He pre-snap read. He reads the defense so well. Jamie Tucker his adjustments that he makes in games. He's an awesome coach.
Poise,
it's a son of a coach, and you can see that.
You're a son of a something. Poise at the quarterback position. Colin Schofield and St. John's beating Wachusett to get into this game. SJ is all of a sudden the hottest team in Central Mass, at least in that division, right?
Yeah, yes. Nobody's talking about the Marlboro loss anymore.
Nobody's talking about it.
Well, they made adjustments.
Right.
They made adjustments.
A week later.
So they lose to Marlboro. You're playing a team in Wachusett that's real physical, that wants to run the ball and wants to play smash mouth football. So they take two guys that were on the offensive line, move them over to the defensive line. They haven't played much defense at all year long. Now you get two big body, strong kids on the D-line. That changes everything because now you're holding your ground on the run. and you're turning a team into a one-dimensional team. And, you know, Wachusett wants to run, establish the run 8 times out of 10, throw on play action when you can bring everyone up. If you shut that down and make a team one-dimensional, it's a lot easier to beat them. And that's what St. John's did. And it was a great adjustment. And they were popping the kicks off on kickoffs. Pop it up, give them a short field. If they're going to score and beat us, it's going to be on a 50-yard field, not an 80 or 90-yard field where you're taking 11 minutes.
What's Shrewsbury's path to victory here?
Don't give up the big play. Yeah. I mean, that's, you look at what you talk about the line and everything. That's well and good. I think, you know, their first 3 touchdowns, 75 yards, 89 yards, and 65 yards. Right there, they get smashed in the mouth real early. It's tough to come back. We have this demoralizing. What do we do to stop these guys when, you know, they're throwing out bombs? They're throwing out halfback option passes the first drive of the game. And
but you know what, though? They set it up perfectly. They ran the ball the first 2 plays of the game. Everyone's fired up. The emotion's going. Wachusett stuffed them. The first 2 plays, they stuffed them. Everyone's flying now. 3rd play of the game, it's a little circle route out of the backfield. They throw it to Shea Gallo-Collie. Everyone's coming forward again. I'm going to make the hit. I'm going to make the hit. Guy slides right behind him.
Make a pick.
I'm going to predict that.
Quick, we're out of time here.
Shrewsbury gets to win because it's revenge. We're out of time already?
We're out of time.
I'm taking Shrewsbury. I think they can win.
I'm using Shea's underwear, taking St. John's.
Apologies to the Dean's List and the upcoming schedule, but we got a big show coming
we'll put it online
on Friday night and Saturday night, and we'll talk about what happens next week on The Extra. For Kevin, for Jim, I'm Andy, 3 guys having fun.